Welcome to Sell Your Books Saturday with a quote from Brian Judd, who said, "The key to successful book marketing is to know your target audience." That sounds really fundamental, doesn't it? It is. And yet this is one of those areas where way too many writers don't take the time to do this foundational work. It is the foundation of your book, this work. Hi there, my name is Christopher Diamani. It is my pleasure, it is my passion to empower aspiring Christian nonfiction writers just like you, so you can share the story of how God led you from trauma to triumph, and now you can make the impact that you know you're born to make. You've been through the process, you know what you need to do, now you're ready to move forward. And I love helping writers just like you make that happen. It's so much fun. So the first thing I want to talk about today is that simple fact. Understanding your target audience allows you to tailor your book marketing strategies so you can effectively reach the people you need to reach. There's essentially one person, it's you, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 6 months ago, whatever the process is you've been through to solve whatever the problem is that you solved in your own life, and now you want to share with others. That's who your target audience is. So figure out who that is and where they are online, and you're on your way to success. 1 Corinthians 9:22, Paul says, I have become all things to all people, so that by all possible means I might save some. You're not trying to be all things to all people, because nobody can be, but you can meet people where they are, which is really what Paul's talking about here. Meeting people where they are so that you can share your experience, your strength, your hope for the future, so that they can latch on to you, your message, and the things that you've learned, so that they can make this a part of their own life as well. That's what he's talking about here. So you won't become all things to all people, but you will solve a problem for your ideal reader. You'll use different marketing approaches to reach different segments of that market, different ways of resonating with your readers so that they understand that you get it. You get not only the problem, but you get them and where they're at and how to move them from that place of trauma and tragedy and all that stuff, all that pain, onto the road of recovery and onto the road of that path to rejoicing and having a life that's truly worth living. This is why we write transformational nonfiction books, because we know we have it on our heart. We know we have the power and the desire to save one other person's life. That's why we write these books, right? So make sure you take the time to craft your message so it speaks directly to that one person. One person, using the language that they use to describe the problem, not necessarily the language you use. Use their words, reflect that back to them. When you do, it's going to resonate with them on a way deeper level than anything else you can do. Show your reader that you understand their problem, their concerns at a really deep level, and they will follow you wherever you want to lead them. They truly will. They will listen intently. They will pay attention when you're discussing what that next first step is for them. And ultimately, that's what you want. You want to be able to impact them in a way that they can hear for the very first time. So I talk about this quite a lot, actually, is that if you don't write and publish your book, you're doing yourself a massive disservice because you have a gift to offer to the world and you're refusing to share it. But that's not the biggest crime. That's not the biggest sin. The bigger sin is that you have all of this available to you and you're refusing to share it. And by refusing to share it, you're keeping other people trapped in that pain, trapped in that misery, trapped in that trauma. Because no matter how many times they've heard the principle or the idea that you talk about that is the pathway to the solution in your world, the trouble is they can't hear it any other way than how you present it. Sure, there's lots of people sharing the same principles. There's a ton of people doing what I do. But I'm speaking to the people who will resonate with my message, with the way I do it, with the tools that I use and the way that I use them. Because if you're one of that tribe of people, you and I will do some really amazing things together. And that's the point. You want to do the same thing with your book. You want to make sure that you're serving that person in a way that will change their life forever. That's the point. truly is the point. So through your research and doing this on social media, whatever platform where you find people like you with that problem that you solve, go there, ask them. Through your research, you're going to learn who that ideal person truly is, where they spend their time online, where they hang out, and it's because you know where they hang out, you're going to know things like what hashtags they use, just the phrases they use to describe the problem. You're going to know what language resonates with them and what turns them off completely. And this is the simple, essential work that so many writers don't do. This is the knowledge that will allow you to direct your marketing efforts to the heart of the people you most need to help and who most need your help. That's it. Your marketing efforts, in my notes, it says, your marketing efforts will make the greatest impact possible when you do this. It doesn't take long. You want to do it ongoingly, obviously, but it doesn't take a whole long time. Because marketing is not a destination. Selling your book is not a destination. Like, yeah, I sold one copy of my book. Well, that's one person you have the potential to help. If they open up the book, if they read the book, and if they take the actions that you tell them about in your book. Buying the book is really only the first step. It should be the beginning of your relationship with them as well, because you want to take them through that process. Make sure they actually follow through on this really great decision they made. I got the solution. Awesome. And then put it on a shelf and never read it. You'd be astounded at how many people do that. You really would. So marketing is a destination. Marketing your book is not a destination. It's a process, and it's one that you need to constantly refine, constantly learn what things are working and what are not, where things have shifted. Track track everything that you do, so you know what works, what doesn't. Because when you know what works and what doesn't, you can do more of what does and less of what doesn't. And that simply is a really easy path to success. Refine your strategy as needed, always. So with that, I hope you found that helpful. I would love to connect with you as well on social media. All the links to all the platforms where I'm active on, you can find those at authorcoach.click/Christopher. There's a couple other cool things there too you might want to check out. But this is the important work. Don't skimp on this, because this is the work before you write the first page of your book. This is the stuff that's going to make sure your book